Once, long ago, in a land far away, there lived four little characters who ran through a maze looking for cheese to nourish them and make them happy. Two were mine, named Sniff and Scurry, and two were little people, beings who were as small as mice, but looked and acted a lot of people today. Their names were Hem and Hoa. Notice their small size. It's not to notice what the four of them were doing, but if you look close enough, you could discover the most amazing thing. Every day, the mice and little people spent time in the maze, looking for their own special cheese. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, possessing only simple rodent brain but good instincts, searched for the hard, nibbling cheese they liked, as mice often do. The two little people, Hem and Hoa, used their brains, filled them with beliefs, to search for the very different kind of cheese with the capital C, which they believed to make them feel happy and successful. As different mice and little people were, they shared something in common. Every morning they each put on their jogging suit and running shoes, left their little home, and lounged in the maze, looking for their favorite cheese. The maze was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, some containing delicious cheese, but there were also dark corners and blind alleys leading nowhere. It was an easy place for anyone to get lost. However, if those found their way, a maze held secrets you enjoy their life. The mice, Snip and Scurry, used their simple tribe and method of finding cheese. They land on one corridor, and improved them. They turned to land on another. They remembered the colors helped them choose and quickly went to new areas. Sniff would smell out the general direction of trees driving with great nose, and Scurry would race ahead. They got lost in the unexpected when they often wrong direction and often bumped into the wall. However, the two little people, Hem and Hoa, had very complex brain. With the leaves in motion, that made life a maze more complicated and challenging. They relied on more sophisticated methods of finding cheese, but depending on sync on their past experience. Overall, their ability sometimes clouded by the way they looked at things. Eventually, in their own way, they all discovered what they were looking for. They each found their own kind of cheese one day, at the end of the one corridor in Cheese Station C. Every morning after that, the mice and the little people dressed in their running gear and headed over the Cheese Station C. It wasn't long before they each resumed their routine. Sniff and Scurry continued to wake up early every day and race to the maze, already following the same route. When they arrived at their destination, the mice took off their running shoes, tied them together, hung them around the neck, so they get to do them quickly whenever they enjoy the cheese. In the beginning, Hem and Hoa also raced to the cheese station C every morning to enjoy the taste more way to do them. But after a while, a different routine set in there. The little people, Hem and Hoa, awoke each day a little later, dressed a little cheese, and walk. Station C. Afterward, they were where the cheese was there. How to get there? They had to know there how cheese came from. They used to assume they read there. As soon as they home their cheese station C each morning, they settled then and made themselves their home. They hung up their jogging, put on their running shoes, and put on their slippers. They're becoming very comfortable now that they found the cheese. "This is great," Hem said. "There's enough cheese here to last forever." The little people felt happy, successful, and thought them all secure. It wasn't long before Hem and Hoa regarded the cheese station found this cheese station as their cheese. It was such a large store of cheese. They eventually moved their home to be close to it and built social life around it. To make them feel more at home, Hem and Hoa decorated the wall with saying and even drew a picture of cheese around them, which made them smile. One read, "Having cheese makes you happy." Sometimes Ham and Hoa walked their friends by to their pride cheese or cheese station C and pointed to pride, saying, "Pretty nice cheese, huh?" Sometimes they shared with their friend, and sometimes they didn't. "We deserve this cheese," Ham said. His children had run along harder and found it. He picked up the nice fresh piece and ate it. Afterward, Ham fell asleep, as her often did. Every night little people were at home full of cheese, and every morning little confident returned for more. This went on quite some time. After a while, Ham and Hoa, confident, grew into the arrogant success. Soon they became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. As time went on, Sniff and Scurry continued their routine. They arrived early each morning. They sniffed and scratched to scurry around Cheese Station C, inspecting areas any changes of there before. Then they sat down before cheese. One morning they arrived Cheese Station C and discovered there was no cheese. They weren't surprised. Since Sniff and Scurry noticed their surprise cheese was getting small every day, they were prepared and knew instinctively what to do. They looked at each other, removed their lunch shoes with a tight feather hung convenient around their neck, put them on their feet, and lifted them up. The mice did not overanalyze things. To the mind, the problem and answer were very simple. The situation at Cheese Station C had changed, so Sniff and Scurry decided to change. They both looked out in amaze. Then Sniff lifted his nose, sniffed, and nodded to Scurry, who took off lunch through the maze, while Sniff followed as fast as he could. They were quickly off in search of new cheese. Later that same day, Ham and Hoa arrived at Cheese Station C. They had not been paying attention small changes had been taking place each day, so they took for granted their cheese would be there. They were unprepared what they found. "What? No cheese?" Ham yelled. He continued yelling, "No cheese? No cheese?" As though if he shouted louder, someone would prepare. "Who moved my cheese?" he hollered. Finally, he put his hands on hips, his face turned red, and he screamed at the top of his voice, "It's not fair!" Hoa just shook his head in disbelief. He, too, encountered fountain cheese at Cheese Station C. He stood there for a long time, frozen with shock. He was just not ready for this. Ham was yelling something, but Hoa didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to deal with us facing. He saw everything out. The little people behaved not very attractive, productive, but it was understandable. Finding cheese wasn't easy, and it made great more little people just having nothing to eat every day. Finding cheese was a little people's way of getting what they thought they needed to happy. They had their own idea was what cheese meant to them, depending on their taste. For some, finding cheese was having material links. For others, it was enjoying good health or developing a spirit sense of well-being. For Hoa, cheese just meant feeling safe, having a loving family someday, and living in a cozy cottage on Cheddar Lane. To him, cheese was becoming a big cheese in charge of others, and own a big house atop Camembert Hill. Because cheese was important to them, two little people spent a long time trying to decide what to do. All they could think of keep looking around Cheese Station C to see if the cheese was really gone. While Sniff and Scurry had quickly moved on, Ham and Hoa continued. To Ham and Hoa. Hoa still get pressed. What could happen to cheese their model? You're made to plain with the cheese. The little people couldn't believe it. How could this happen? No one. But was right. There is not the way things supposed to be. Ham and Hoa went midnight hungry, discouraged. But they left. Hoa wrote on the wall, the more important cheese you, the more you own on tree. The next day, Ham and Hoa left their home and returned to Station C again, where they still expected somehow to find their cheese. The situation hadn't changed. The cheese were no longer there. The people what to do. Ham and Hoa just stood there immobilized like two statues. Hoa shut his eyes with tight cool temperate hands over his ear. He just wanted to block everything out. He did not know the cheese supply gradually getting smaller. He believed it would move all of a sudden. Ham analyzed the situation over and over and eventually he complicated brain with a huge blizzard took hold. Why did they do this to me? He demanded. What's really going on? Finally, Hoa opened his eyes, looked around, and said, "By the way, where are Sniff and Scurry? Do you think they know something we don't?" Ham scoffed. "What would they know?" Ham continued. "They're just simple mice. They'll slip on what happened. We're little people. We are special. We should be able to figure this out." "I know we're smarter," Hoa said. Lloyd seemed acting smart at the moment. "Things are changed around here, Him. Maybe we need to change. Do things differently." "Oh, why should we change?" Ham asked. "We're little people. You're special. These sort of things do not happen to us. Or if it does, we should at least get benefit." "Why should we get benefit?" Hoa asked. "Because we're entitled," Ham claimed. "Entitled to what?" Hoa wanted to know. "We're entitled to our cheese." "Why?" Hoa asked. "Because we didn't cause this problem," Ham said. "Somebody else did this and we should get something out of it." Hoa suggested, "Maybe you should stop analyzing situations so much and just get going and find new cheese." "Oh no," Ham argued. "I'm gonna get to the bottom of this." While Ham and Hoa were still trying this what to do, Sniff and Scurry were right away. They went farther into the maze, up and down corridor, looking for cheese every cheese station they could find. They didn't think of anything else but finding new cheese. They didn't find any for some time until they found an area of the maze where there had never been before. Cheese Station N. They squealed with delight. They found what they were looking for, a great supply of new cheese. They could hardly believe their eyes. It was the biggest store of cheese mice have ever seen. In the meantime, Ham and Hoa were still back in Cheese Station C, evaluating the situation. They were not suffering the effects of having no cheese. They were becoming frustrated, angry, and would blame each other for the situation we're in. Now and then, Hoa forgot his mice friend, Sniff and Scurry, and wondered if Sing found its cheese yet. He believed they might be having a hard time. Running through the maze usually involves some uncertainty, but he also knew it was likely to only left for a while. Sometime Hoa imagined Sniff and Scurry finding new cheese and enjoying it. He thought about how could people even in the maze and finding new fresh new cheese. He could almost taste it. The more clearly Hoa saw himself finding and enjoying the new cheese, the more he saw himself leaving Cheese Station C. "Let's go," he exclaimed all of a sudden. No, Ham quickly responded. I like it here. It's comfortable. It's what I know. Besides, it's dangerous out there. No, it isn't, Hoa argued. We've run through many parts of it before. We can do it again. I'm getting too old at Ham said. I'm afraid I'm not interested in getting lost in making a fool of myself. Are you? With them, Hoa's fear of failing returned, and he saw finding new trees fatigued.